Hello viewers, it's the middle of October and we got a nice day today. It's almost up into the 70s, which is kind of a little bit warm for this time of year. It's usually 50s and 60s by now. Anyways, I think today is a good opportunity to winterize the yard here, because I suspect this will be the last warm day we have. Unfortunately, it's kind of cloudy and windy today, so it's not exactly pleasant out, but it's certainly nice enough to do some cleanup here in the yard. Got a very thick coating of leaves. I'm not even going to try to blow those out today because it's so windy, it just doesn't work that good. So, what I usually do is I take these transformers inside, and I'll keep these inside for the winter. The lights themselves stay out. I contemplated taking all the lights in because most likely I won't be here in this location next summer, so the lights are going to have to come out to be relocated anyways. But the reality is I just don't have anywhere to put them inside, so they're going to have to stay out. Same thing with these, those are going to stay out as well. So these have been here for a long time. They're holding up pretty well. In the summer there's pretty thick leaf coverage here, so they're not in too much sun. They're very dirty. I should probably, I would say I'd clean it off, but the problem is every time it rains they just get like that again because I don't know, I guess the mulch didn't stay in place this year. So whatever. So I'll take that in. And then the other thing I do is I take the hoses and I move the hoses under the table. And it just kind of keeps them a little bit out of the sun and out of the rain and the snow and everything. They're all empty of the water. I took the water out of the hoses and I closed them up. And I connect them together so ants don't get in there. I had issues with ants getting in there one year. So I drained them out and I closed them up. They're ready to go for the winter. I'd prefer to store these inside, but I also don't have anywhere to put them. So I'll move that under the table. I'll blow the leaves out from around the table just so that I don't put the hoses on a bunch of leaves, because that's stupid. And then I'll take this thing in. That'll come off with the lights. I'll take that in. And then I think we'll also take, well, maybe not quite yet. I'm going to take this cord off of the plug for the high pressure sodium lights. I think that makes sense to do that. I'm thinking if it's warm, if it stays warm tonight, maybe I'll come out here one more time tonight and use the lights. So maybe I'll not do that quite yet. I'll do that later. That I can do when it's cold. That's a quick, come outside and do that in a couple of minutes kind of thing. So, okay, I gotta go inside and get the leaf blower, and I gotta get the box for the transformers, and then I'll be back on the video. Okay, let's just get some of these leaves out of here so it's easier to work here. Okay, so we have with these, It's just a common screwdriver. They hook on the back like this, one screw. It's not a common rather, it's a Phillips. It's a Phillips on these terminals. And we unplug it here. And I gotta wipe these down, they're pretty dirty. I like to wipe them down and make sure there's no bugs and stuff in there before I put them away for the year. It's not closing properly. I don't know why. Oh, something's all messed up there. That hinge is not rotating. That's the problem. Okay, we'll have to fix that. I didn't realize that was a problem. You know, these lights have been a nuisance from day one. The assembly was a nightmare. Trying to get these connected is difficult in the spring. And apparently now the hinges is broke. These are obviously pretty cheap to begin with. I bought these, they were being liquidated from a seller on the internet. And they said that the reason they're being liquidated is because they get a lot of returns from customers saying that they're too difficult to put together. And me being the stubborn individual that I am, I said, oh, how hard could it possibly be to put some lights together? And so I bought a whole bunch of them. I bought 4 sets of them. Holy mackerel, they were difficult. One of the most frustrating things I've ever assembled. But they were economical and they've been functioning just fine for several years. They serve the purpose I wanted them to at this location, and they'll serve the purpose at the next location, so there really is no complaining to be had. And the reality is I'm not too worried about that being broke, because at the next location these will be mounted indoors, so if the rain protector thing is broke, it's not going to matter. Whoa. Okay. So I have in here a couple of wires. And these do all fit in here for enough for the box to close, but I gotta redo it because this is not correct. I have these wires which I use to hold up the connections for the winter, because I don't want them just sitting on the ground. So I take these two and what I do is I kind of put it up here like this, so that when it rains it's not going to go into the wire, and then I wrap this around here like this. What I should have done was got more terminals and connected them. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. Okay, so that's good. This is a little bit loose. Let's see if I can tighten this up a little bit better. This piece of wire is a bit too short to really get a good grip on it. There, that's much better. Okay, that'll hold that. And now I'll take this off. I don't know if the viewing audience likes this particular camera, but I like this camera quite a bit, because if I was to record this kind of video using a tripod and other camera, it would take so much longer, because I gotta keep moving the camera and making sure that the angle is right and adjusting everything. I can record so much more with this camera because I don't have to deal with that. So I'm really enjoying using this camera. Oh, we don't need no spiders on here. Yuck, I hate spiders so much. Okay. This thing is kind of busted up a little bit too. This thing is old. At the previous house, we used to use these things with the Christmas lights outside. So they've been outside a lot of years. These things are starting to get screwed up, but it works just fine for this use case. Okay, so that's that. That's all inside. Now the hoses. I take these pieces of wood and I put these under here, and I prefer it to be elevated off the ground quite a bit, you know, so that the hose doesn't sit on the ground and start rotting. That's what's going to happen. So put that up like that, and then grab another set of bricks here. I'd rather that be clean. Oh well. Just have to wash it off in the spring, that's all. Okay. Don't want bugs on this. Positioning of this is not quite correct. Should be a little bit wider. And there's some leaves on this. There's going to be. It is what it is. It's not going to really do any damage. Could do a little better than that. Okay. So that's that. Hoses will live under there for the winter. I don't like that, but better than sitting over there. Yeah, clean up the rest of these bricks here, just to make it easier to deal with the leaves. There's this hose, which I'm not really sure what it goes to. This is an artifact from the previous house, one of very few remaining, and so I've just kind of kept it over the years. So we'll keep it another year, probably another 50 years, just for no reason. Probably not going to stay there. I guess we can put it down below like that. That should be fine. Okay, so that's it. The yard is winterized. And I'll clean those up and deal with that later. I don't think that's video worthy. It's just wiping dirt off of some transformers. So, and this chair, the chair I'll take away eventually. I'll take the chair away when I disconnect that power cord from that, maybe tomorrow. But other than that, that's the winterizing process here. Nothing too complicated. You know, everything out here is built to be outside, so it's just gonna stay outside. A lot of leaves falling. Maybe I'll try to clean the leaves up today, even though it's windy. Because if you let it pile up too much, then it takes forever to get it done. That's good enough for now. I just like to keep the heavy accumulation off the mulch because it rots it. See, this here is starting to turn white. That's from the leaves sitting on there, no sun getting to it. It's like that all over the place here. So it's not very thorough, but it'll look like this again in a half an hour with the wind we got today. So no point in going crazy over it.